apologies.
conference will now be recorded.
My apologies to those. Let me start again from the top. Welcome, District Governor Helen Kosaklong, District Governor-elect Fanny Chu, First Vice District Governor-elect June Valera, and Second Vice District Governor-elect John Huey. Again, Lion Denise Kelly of the Daly City Host Lions Club will be leading the presentation, together with Lion Yvonne Kantola of the San Francisco Chinatown Lions Club, and Past District Governor Lydia Taylor Bellinger of the San Francisco Merced Heights Lions Club. We thank them for being willing to take time, and they've taken a lot of time to make a presentation for everyone that's here today. Before we start, we thought we'd just start with a little bit of background on Lions Clubs International. And if you were here for the president's presentation earlier this morning, I apologize for putting you through a replay. But again, Lions Clubs International was founded in 1917 with the motto, "We serve," and that's what Lions is all about. The founder was Melvin Jones, who interestingly enough never served as president of the organization. He was the main person who went and organized the club, took it national and then later international. And so it is now around the globe. Main areas of focus, every club decides what they want to work on, but local needs, each club decides what they're going to do, but the main areas of focus that are common to all Lions clubs worldwide are vision, hunger, youth, health issues, diabetes, pediatric cancer, and the environment. And so, as you know, Helen Keller asked us to be the Knights of the Blind back in 1925. And since then, all Lions clubs have served to help the vision impaired and lately also the hearing impaired. Hunger is a problem that's present throughout our world, both locally and internationally. And District 4C4 has served to help the hungry through Rise Against Hunger and through St. Anthony's Dining Room. Many clubs also have their own local functions to help the hunger. We have youth programs such as the Peace Poster Contest, the Lions Student Speaker Contest. Lions Quest is something that many districts do. It's not actually active in this district. Someone out there may want to take a look at the Lions Quest program and see if we have an educator out there who wants to look at Lions Quest. We'd love to have someone start that up in this district. And then, of course, there is the health issues. We have the health fairs. We have diabetes, pediatric cancers. Several of the clubs in our districts do the health fairs. Recently, our district endorsed the Lions Health Initiative, or Health and Wellness. I forget exactly what it's called, but health is something that we want to promote throughout Lionism. And finally, of course, the environment, whether it's working on a beach, cleaning up a highway, planting a tree, taking a photo, and making the world a better place just by making people aware. Before I continue on, I should say that the microphones are going to be muted for everyone in the room. Lion August, have you taken care of that? If you have any questions, please submit them through the chat box, and we will get to them. We'll be following those questions, and we'll try to get to those, and we'll send those to Lion Denise, Lion PDG Lydia, and Lion Yvonne. We'll just take a second to look at this video, if it works. Oops, forgive me. It is about service. It's everything that we do. That's the most important thing that we do. And so anyway, we ask you as club officers to look at your code of ethics and the purposes of the Lions Club. Please become familiar with this. Overview of the organization is that we have close to 1.5 million people in over 200 countries, about 20,000 in the state of California. And our District 4C4 includes San Francisco, San Mateo, and the city of Palo Alto. And approximately 1,551 members in 52 clubs. And I know that we've got 2 more on the way. There on the left are our current district governors, which are District Governor Helen Casaclong, our District Governor-elect Banny Chu wearing the red scarf, and our first Vice District Governor-elect Lion Dr. June Valera in the yellow tie, and to be joined soon by second Vice District Governor-elect Lion John Huey. And so we thank them for their service. Once again, over 200 countries, 46,000 Lions clubs. Oh, one thing, Leo's clubs, this has already been mentioned to your Lions clubs presidents. If your club does not have a Leo club, we hope that you will consider going to your local schools and starting a service club, a Leo club in their schools. So that's something to consider. Lions Club, again, worldwide. Most of the globe is blue. Just a few countries there still in gray. We are hoping to get into those countries very soon. Our Lions Club's executive officers that are going to be serving for another year are listed here from Korea, from Iceland, from the state of New York, state of Minnesota, and from Canada. And so if you attend multiple district events or go to a Lions International Convention or the USA Canada Forum, I'm quite sure you would have a chance to meet these great folks. We serve in District 4C4, which is that little district right there. It's plenty big enough to drive from one end to the other, but these districts are broken up by population. So our little district has as many members, or in some cases more than some of those great big districts. But it is interesting how the districts are broken up. We have several members in attendance today from 4L3, which I believe covers the city of Los Angeles. And so again, that is a smaller district. The foundations, we hope that all clubs will help to serve with the foundations. And with that background, I'm going to turn it over to District past Cabinet Secretaries, Lion Denise, Lion Yvonne, and past District Governor Lydia Taylor Bellinger. Lion Denise, I'm going to make you the presenter at this point so that you can begin your presentation, but I have to find you first. Somewhere on this list to make you the presenter. I'll find you.
Okay.
And I'm not finding you. Where are you? Oh, there you are. You're actually on there as an organizer, but I'm going to go ahead and make you the presenter.
Okay.
It is your screen now, and actually, I'm going to stop sharing my screen.
Okay. Is mine up there okay?
Let me see. I may be running into a problem I did not anticipate.
You're okay.
Are we okay? Okay, got it. Yes, you're okay. The presenter.
Okay. I'm trying to get it back so I can see it because I can't see it. Okay. All right. So welcome everyone. Thank you for coming. Thank you for wanting to be a club secretary or to learn all about it. We're going to go over a lot of information today, but we certainly won't hit on everything because other things will come up as we go along. So first of all, I'd like to figure out how to change my screen here.
How about if you go start slideshow from the beginning? There you go. Right there.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay. And okay, so I can page it down from here. Okay. So one of the things that was mentioned in your email was to go to Lions Learning Center or to lions4c4.org and look at the Lions Club Secretary ebook. The ebook that's on there is from last year, and as with most organizations, there have been a lot of changes. There will be a new version coming in July. Most of the basic information is the same, but a lot of the links no longer have they're not the current links and they don't have the right information on them anymore. So use it as a guide, and then as the new one becomes available, we'll make sure that it's available as soon as we can get it. Lions use entirely too many acronyms when we're talking and dealing with people. This is a list of some of the most common ones that the Lions of L6 put together, and I use it kind of as a reference point even after all these years as having been a Lion. Every once in a while someone will use one that I'm not familiar with. We're going to try to limit the number of acronyms that we use today and use LCI for Lions Clubs International, MD4 for Multiple District 4, which, as Mario just explained, is all the Lions Clubs in California in 15 districts. We have district, which is our district, will be 4C4, and it's the 52 Lions Clubs in San Francisco County, San Mateo County, and Palo Alto. So, what are Lions Club secretaries? As far as I'm concerned, we are the glue that strengthens and binds our club structure. We are the ones that put everything together and sort of make sure that everything is going the way it's supposed to, working in conjunction, of course, with the club president. You've all pretty much, I think, have seen the club structure chart, so we don't need to spend a whole lot of time on that. But you can see that this is just kind of a basic structure that LCI puts together. Many of the responsibilities that we have are established in the club standard, constitution, and bylaws. And we need to be as familiar with our club's constitution as we can. LCI provides it, and it's updated annually for clubs that don't have their own bylaws. But clubs that have their own bylaws still have to follow the basic constitution and bylaws that LCI has set up in the course of the activities of their club. First of all, we have that the secretary is, you can read, under the supervision and direction and works as a liaison, all those kinds of normal things that we talk about. And then it involves the duties. We submit monthly and other reports as requested. Presently, the recording requirements are the monthly membership report, which will be referred to as the MMR from now on. And if the club does not have a service chair, the service activities reports, or the SAR acronym. Service activity training is going to be tomorrow from 10:30 to 11:30. So if you want to attend that, please RSVP to PDG Mario at mxbdds@aol.com, and he'll email you the login information. So we're not going to be spending time on that one today. Requests for information
Actually,
for the cabinet.
Yes.
Yes.
What I've done is I've put all the links for the login information on the District 4C4 Facebook page. So if anyone needs help into any other session, they should be there.
Okay. All right. So the requests that we get are usually unusual and fairly timely. They come from the district cabinet secretary or your region and zone chairs. So please be on the lookout for those. There are not too many of them, though. You are an active member of the District Governor's Advisory Committee, and those committee meetings are usually region and zone meetings that are sometimes scheduled 3 times a year, sometimes not. But please try to attend those whenever you can. We have custody and responsibility for the general records of the club, and that includes keeping minutes, attendance, committee appointments, monitoring that everything gets done the way it's supposed to, and keeping track of members' information. You are, according to the bylaws, you are supposed to give bond for your service in an amount or the financial amount that's determined by your club board of directors. Many clubs waive this requirement for secretaries and treasurers at their first board meeting of the new year by resolution, and that is more than covers that for you. And then my favorite one is at the end, you have to deliver timely all the records to your successor. And hopefully you will have a very good successor coming soon. In my club, we made a decision last year that instead of keeping all those boxes of paper, we're scanning everything in to our computer as it happens and putting everything on a thumb drive. And I'm certain that that will be as outdated as a CD player will be pretty soon, and we'll probably be going to a cloud storage. But for the environment, it's better, and we also don't really need to have all that paper. Any questions before I move on?
Nope.
Okay. All right, so how do we do it? Well, we do it with a lot of patience and as much organizational skills as we can manage. We are responsible for keeping the current membership information within our club. We all know how important that is for good communication and for the accuracy of your MMR reporting. All the information that's required for each Lion is included on the membership application, and your club membership chair should provide a completed application for each new Lion. Membership applications, I, as secretary, I don't know how it works in individual clubs, but in my club, I keep a bunch of them. We pass them out at meetings. My tail twister has fined me a couple of times if I don't have at least 2 in my purse. So they are free, and you can get them by emailing membership@lionsclubs.org. This is what the membership application looks like. It's pretty basic, and all of the information that's asked for on that form is what you need to keep your records complete and to add a new member into your club. There are different kinds of membership that your membership chair should always advise you what type of member they are when they're joining. All of the details of what each one of those is available in the bylaws. But for the most part, most of us are what they call active or regular members. If you have an associate member or want to have an associate member, you do not enter that into the LCI system. You have to send an email to Member Service Center at lionsclubs.org with that Lion's name, their membership number, and their home club, and make sure you include your club name and club number. So that is another piece of information that we need to share with our membership. We also need to maintain some kind of a membership roster so that we can get in touch with one another. Excuse me, I put a little sample of kind of how you can do one. I made Melvin Jones president of Best Lions Club just to be able to fill something in for you. Each club does them a little bit differently. If you're going to put your member's birthday on there, some clubs do just the month and date because you really do need to have that person's permission to tell people how old they are. But now for LCI, you do need the year of birth for them. They don't have an option on that. Current email addresses are particularly important as we move away from the 55-cent postage that I understand is going to go to 58 cents in about 6 months. The next thing that we're responsible for is working with our club presidents to make sure we create and publish the meeting agenda. Most clubs email the agenda out to the membership prior to its meeting. The format is kind of your club's preference. The first agenda, board meeting agenda, please make sure that you include in that agenda the election of your club officers who will be your financial signatories for the year. You need that information in your approved minutes for your bank to be able to do it. It should be your treasurer, president, and you should always have at least one alternate because very often two people are not available. Suggestions for agendas include what we've got here: call to order, pledge, invocation, introduction, president's report, secretaries, treasurers, all of that sort of thing. Club board meetings should include establishing a quorum following your call to order, as you do need to have a quorum of your board there to conduct business, while membership meetings, you only need to have 51% of the people in attendance if there's anything to vote on. Here's a couple of examples of different ways of doing agendas. As you can see, the Millbrae Alliance puts a lot more detail in their reports than Daly City Host does, but as I said, each one gets to do their agenda type the way they would like. This is a board meeting agenda from San Bruno and from Daly City Host. Same sort of thing. So you can do them the way you prefer. Meeting minutes should be as detailed. I feel like I'm going too fast, am I?
Yes.
Oh.
I have a question, Lydia.
No, you're okay.
Well, I have a question. When you enter a new member on the website, the date of birth, you put it in the correct date of birth, but that it does not save it. It will just give you the New Year's Eve, and the date is like a baby, so it's an infant. So it doesn't save whatever date you put in there.
Okay, well, they do, you have to go back in and change it, but we will go
states
over
it,
that when we go over the details of how to do that. Put a new member in. We're just doing a high level at this point, but we have a whole section on how to do the stuff at LCI. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. So there we were talking about the minutes. There again, your financial, make sure you include your financial signatories in the first one. Here are a couple of examples of a membership meeting minutes and board meeting minutes. There again, they are based on your club's preference, as long as you do have a permanent record, particularly if you're doing anything that has any kind of financial impact, especially if you're a foundation. You need to make sure you record the motion, who it was made by, the second, some brief discussion if there is any, and then the results of the vote. Keeping attendance for the club is important so that we can make sure that our Lions are engaged. We want to make sure that if we don't see someone for a while, that someone checks on them. This is not just for meetings anymore. This is for activities also, since LCI no longer has a must attend meeting requirement as part of the bylaws. That we're just looking for participation. So you can do that in any way, shape, or form that works for you. I have an Excel spreadsheet, and I just kind of put, at the end of the meeting, I just mark who attended it and total it up that way. And it's also a good way for you to make sure that your Sunshine Chair knows to contact a missing Lion, or if you get a fairly new Lion, that let their sponsor know for some reason they're not coming. Also, for a very minimal amount of money, you can recognize people who do attend everything. And there's some examples there of the last few years of 100% attendance pins. One of the other things that we need to do for activities is to make sure that we have copies of certificates of insurance when we need them. LCI provides insurance, liability insurance for us for our activities. there's also an opportunity for you to purchase additional insurance based on what you're doing. The general liability does not purchase or does not cover alcohol, so you do need to either purchase that through LCI or on your own. One of the issues I personally have with the new or the fairly new Lions Club website is sometimes it's a little difficult to find things. So sometimes you can Google Lions Certificate of Insurance and find it if you can't. It's in the resource center when you go in there. You find Certificate of Insurance, you just click on the type of insurance that you want that's down here, and it gives you a form to fill out. You print it and you have your certificate of insurance. Member accounts that we maintain is basically for our dues. And nobody likes to talk about dues, but we are all required to pay them. So here are some things that we all need to know or review periodically about what's going on. We have financial responsibility, and we feel that it's necessary for you to make sure that your members know what their dues responsibility are, especially when you're recruiting new members. Now, not only their dues responsibility, but sometimes approximately what it's going to cost them during the course of the year if they participate. So your board of directors will determine the annual dues amount and what your payment schedule is. In addition to covering your club expenses, your dues must include dues payable to LCI, MD4, and the district. Life members do not pay LCI dues, but dues are required for MD4 and 4C4. You should, as I said, provide each member with a written breakdown of the annual dues along with the payment schedule determined by the board of directors. LCI and MD4 invoices are due semi-annually based on our monthly membership MMR reports and require timely payments. The notices of invoice availability from LCI are emailed to the club treasurer the first week of each month. Invoices from LCI are dated the last date of the month and are immediately payable but considered past due after 30 days. Each month's invoice will include any club supplies ordered, new member initiation fees and dues, and semi-annual dues on the December 31st and June 30th invoices based on the number of Lions reported that month. Clubs with a past due amount can be suspended, and if it gets bad enough, you can be canceled for non-payment. This is an example of an LCI invoice that comes at the December 31st or June 30th, and it also includes your membership list so you can see specifically who you're being invoiced for. MD4 emails and mails the treasurer semi-annually dues on August 1st and February 1st based on the number of Lions reported on December 31st and June 30th. The invoices are due upon receipt and are past due after 30 days, same as LCI. This is a copy of an invoice from MD4. You can see that it has MD4 and 4C4 dues on it. MD4 does the billing for all of the districts in the state. Club calendar is a great way to share with the club any activities going on in the district, in the MD4 or LCI, things that you want to let them know that's going on. The district does publish a weekly calendar of events piece called The Thread every Sunday night, evening at 5 o'clock. So you can include some of those items on your club calendar, and most of your Lions are receiving that thread every Sunday. This is just an example of the calendar that my club did. This year, obviously, our calendar is very, very small, so I'm not showing you a current one. But you can see we put different things on there to kind of brighten it up a little bit. We put member birthdays on there. The things in blue are club activities. We put all the activities that we know about from the other clubs on there too, along with member anniversaries. But there again, it can be however your club does it. A lot of clubs include this in their monthly newsletter. One of the other things that just came up and is very new, and DGE-elect Fanny is working on getting this set up for us, is MD4 established a youth protection policy that's effective on July 1st of this year. And it is requirements that we do things to protect our youth and protect our Lions that are working directly with youth. You can find all of this information on MD4's website, MD4 Lions, and I'm sure that there will be additional information coming out as soon as all the particulars are worked out with the multiple district. But keep an eye out for that because it's important, especially for those clubs who have Leo clubs. The other real helpful piece of information that you get every year is the district directory. This is a copy of the cover of this year's directory. And in it, it includes information about each club, who to contact, president, secretary, treasurer, other officers. There's policies and procedures manual in there. The bylaws for the district are in there. And there is all kinds of information. So when you get it this year, make sure that you please peruse it. And Lion Mario, if you would please take over for her portion of this. And
I'm sorry, who's taking?
well, Lydia's going to talk while I continue to show the screen.
Okay, just once. Okay, Lydia's mic.
Hello?
Lydia?
Yes, I'm here.
You're on.
Okay, you haven't put the screen up.
There you go.
Okay.
Is it there now?
Yes.
Okay.
Today, I was asked to talk. First of all, thank all of you for getting on board. This is a great opportunity for everyone to learn and refresh what you may already know. But today, my portion of this is to talk about protocol. And protocol is very important for all of our clubs, not only on the club level, but also on the international level. And you want to say, what is a protocol? Or established code of procedure for an organization or a situation. That's what protocol is all about. It can also include our attire, what we're wearing, okay? And the reason we're talking about include our attire and what we're wearing is because the attire is dictated by the events, whether they are formal events or informal events, or a uniform. In most of our districts, we all have uniforms that we wear. And so there will be times when you need to be in uniform. There will be times when you need to have on a long formal. And this is dictated either by a flyer that comes out announcing an event, or your cabinet secretary, in the case of cabinet officers, will instruct you when you should be in uniform. And one of the things, part of attire, is wearing your lion pin, okay, and wearing your name badge. And oftentimes we don't put the lion pin on. The easiest way to remember what side your lion pin should be worn on is it goes over your heart. So if you remember that, you will know you always place the pin on that side of your chest. And the opposite side is where your name badge should go. And it's been discussed all day long. Our lion pin is a direct connection to the community and also a recruiting process. So it's very important that you wear it. The next thing I want to talk to you about is introduction of dignitaries. And this is a big one for us because oftentimes on the district level, we oftentimes we forget that only the key speaker, principal speaker, is required to acknowledge all the dignitaries present. Once that has been done, there is no need for every time you get up to speak, you run through the whole list already again, because the protocol has already been set so that you don't have to continually acknowledging everyone in the room. And the order of preference is listed in our directory, but I've given you a brief list because if you're on the international level, you start from the top and you work your way down. So you would have like your international president, the immediate past international president, international positions according to rank, and international directors according to rank. Rank is who has been in the positions the longest. You have your GAT team, which includes your GLT, GMT, GST, and the LCIF. And those are global leadership team, global membership team, global service team, and your Lion Club International Foundation team. And this is on the international level. You also have these same positions in your district level as well. And then on the international level, you have your chairperson, which is the Council of Governors, your district governors, you have your immediate council chair, immediate past district governors. And the list, as I stated here, it goes on down based on rank. So you have your past council chairs, you have your past district governors, your district cabinet officers, and that can go from your president all the way down to your club officers. In this protocol list is also listed your region and zone chairs. And the exact list can be found in your directory in terms of who gets introduced first or who gets introduced last. So and then the next thing based on this is your non-line dignitaries. With the non-line dignitaries, this often happens when you have like a governor for the area or council chairperson for the general area at your meeting. You should acknowledge those people, and they should be acknowledged according to their protocol in their area. And if you have a principal speaker, you've invited someone to come to your meeting as a speaker, you need to also acknowledge that person as well. So it's important that you do that. And then we want to talk a little bit about, you can move the slide down, Denise. We'll talk about the seating guidelines. And this is important too, because this is based on your club meetings. It can be based on district governor visitation, multiple district heads. So when you have the seating arrangement, it's the club president is, first of all, it's based on where the podium is situated, okay? So you always have to look and see where your podium is. But routinely, if the podium is at the end of the table, the club president sits in the middle of the section, and then the other officers sit based on their rank. You will have at the head table your secretary, your treasurer. If you have a guest speaker, you would also have them seated at the table. As a rule, the secretary is usually sitting to the right of the president so that she can keep them on focus with their agenda. And I have some additional information here pertaining to seating, okay? The club president sits in the middle, and to the left of the president, you would have if your district governor is coming for a visit, you would have your district governor on the left side of the president. And if they bring a spouse, the spouse has the option of being allowed to sit up there at the head table. And sometimes what we do is we have a separate table for spouses so they can also be seated there. Your region chair should be there on the same side as your district governor, your zone chair, and then the cabinet treasurer. And on the right side of the president is the club secretary, first vice district governor, second vice district governor, and the cabinet secretary. And that's the sequence in which you would have them seated for an official district governor visitation. And if you're having just your regular meeting, you would replace those positions with your club treasurer, your club secretary, and if you have a speaker, have them come up there as well. And when you're at when we do introductions at cabinet meetings, we also introduce based on rank as well. And our past practice in our district is we start from the lowest rank first and go down to the highest rank. And one of the reasons that we do it this way is that so when the district governor is introduced, she is the last person's name that you hear. And we ask that you stand and receive the district governor. So it's important that you do that and follow those guidelines. And these are some things that you should know when you're opening your meeting as usual, when the district governor is there with your pledge, your invocation, and preferably you want to have place cards at the head table, then everyone knows where they're sitting. You want to have introduction of members that's present but not part of the cabinet. The cabinet is introduced by the district governor. The district governor is the agenda for the day, and you shouldn't be planning to have additional speakers there because once you've opened your meeting up, then you turn it over to the district governor, who will share with you what her or him, what their goals are and what LCI goals are for the year. And you can ask them to present awards or induct new members, but you want to make sure that you have provided that information to the cabinet secretary prior to them coming to the meeting so that they are prepared to do that. And once the courtesy notification to the district governor via the cabinet secretary. And as I said, when the district governor is introduced, you are asked to stand and receive her. That's customary. And there's no borrowing of property while the district governor is there. I know that's a fun activity that we all do, but that's a no-no during the district governor's official visitation. And the club secretary should notify the cabinet secretary, who will inform the cabinet members whether it's a dinner meeting and if there is a cost. If there's a cost for a dinner meeting, routinely the district governor's meal is comped. And region and zone chairs can also assist you with the requirements in terms of seating and location. And club members and treasurers are added to the head table. And the last thing I wanted to talk about is when you have a visitor from another country, and that person is trying to turn this phone off, and our anthem is played, then their anthem should also be played. Like when our visitor was here from Canada, once our national anthem, the Star Spangled Banner, was played, then we followed up by playing the anthem for another country. I don't know why this won't turn off. So, and then flags and banners. The United States flag is always on the left, and the district governor banner at a cabinet meeting is on the right, or if it's a club meeting, the banner is on the right. And I think I've covered all these. I apologize for the phone ringing while we're trying to do this. Are there any questions? The main thing you need to know is that as far as introduction of dignitaries, check your directory. It's listed in there from the highest rank on down. It's important that we acknowledge people when they're at our meetings, especially your past district governors. We usually will have the cabinet secretary will have a list of all the past district governors. So when they come, you check them off. It's nothing worse than if you go to introduce a list of past district governors and you leave one out. So it's very important that you make your list, be aware of who's in attendance, and acknowledge all that's there. Are there any questions?
Actually, there is a question that came in, not pertaining to Lion Lydia, PDG Lydia's presentation. This is going back to Lion Denise, and this is from Lion May. Question: dues are based on the last date of the end of each month, and I'm assuming that that is in regarding to reporting, but it is based on 2 times during the year. Could you clarify that, Lion Denise? Unmute your microphone.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. The dues for everybody are invoiced December 31st and June 30th. But as you enter a new member in, say you enter somebody in January, you're going to get another bill from LCI at the end of that month that prorates those dues for the period of time. So if you join in March, you're going to get a bill for 3 months. If for April, 2 months or 3 months, that sort of thing. So you do need to pay dues each month, and the LCI dues includes that initiation fee for a new member, which I'm not going to quote the price on it because I'm sure I'm wrong. I also want to add that I want to thank PCC email for the text message. My slide is a little old, as PDG Mario said earlier. I've done this presentation before, and MD4 dues are now $18 a year, not $14. So I really do need to upgrade that slide. So thank you. Does that answer your question, May?
Can I ask, this is Lion May, can I ask a further question? See, my understanding, because we do have trouble getting members to pay their dues. So I always thought that we have until June 30th or December 31st to get them to pay their dues before LCI will perform the assessment. So that's my question. Do they perform the assessment every month in and say, this is how much you owe for this month based upon the membership for this month versus every 6 months?
No, they do it based on every 6 months for the overall membership. So if on December 31st you have 60 members, you're going to be billed for 60 members. If in February you have 63 members, you're going to be billed for those 3 members. And then on June 30th, you'll be billed for the whole 63.
Thank you. That answers my question. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And am I still on, Denise?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, and the last thing that I want to say when I talked about attire, each district governor, whether it's for our district or one of the other districts, have a uniform. And it's important to the district governors that if you are part of their cabinet and you're having a meeting and the cabinet secretary will inform you of what uniform you should be in, I think it's very important that we always wear our uniforms. And now that we're going virtual with this Zoom meetings and all of this, it's more so important now than ever, because if you're part of the cabinet and you're in your uniform, we will see that in these pictures. So I think it's important that we follow that protocol and wear our uniforms as required if you're going to be part of the cabinet.
I noticed in the chat that one of the questions was about getting a district directory.
Yes.
And I see that PDG Mario answered that question. Given the current circumstances of things, though, we're going to have to try to be a little bit more creative this next coming year. So we'll keep you posted as to how that's going to happen this year.
And if you have an old directory around, the protocol have not changed. It's pretty much the same in the directories. So even if you can get like this past year's district governors directory, you will still be able to find the protocol in there in terms of seating charts, introduction of dignitaries. All of that is still in most of the districts' directories.
Okay. Anything else before we move on? I take that's a no. Okay. So the next thing that we're going to talk about is how we actually do the reporting to Lions International through the My Lion application. I put here on the screen that LCI recommends that you use Chrome as your browser. I know that when I was at the MD4 convention and speaking with the IT gentleman from LCI, he said that they have found that we have the least number of problems communicating if we use Chrome. So even if you don't like Chrome, you like something else, it might be worthwhile to just use Chrome for my LCI. Normally, at this point, we would go to the Lions Club website and go to the training area and go through all of this. But for those of you who have tried to use it recently, my LCI training area is not functioning. So I did my best to do some screenshots. So please, if you have questions, you know, I'm going to try to keep the chat open here so that I can see if something comes up on each one that we go through. So to get to my LCI, you have to go through My Lion, which is part of lionsclubs.org. And when you do get there, you choose, you choose member login, which is right up here towards the center. It says member login. If you are not registered yet for My Lion, you need to register. And in order to register, you have to have your Lions membership number. So you will need to get that from the current club secretary. And that's why I mentioned earlier that it's important that that information be available to the member so that they each know what their number is. The next thing then you get a screen that says create your account. You need to fill in all of those kinds of things. You need to create your own password. And of course you have to do the normal agree to all the terms and policy agreements. And when you click continue, it will bring us this screen to you, asking you to enter the verification code that you need to have from your email. So you need to have your email going up. Okay. Then once you get that, you enter the code in and you get a screen that gives you, there's the verification code that came in the email, and you click on your screen and it gets you in your newly created password and you're in. So you go back to this account and you have to go back in and sign in. Okay, so I'm sorry, I'm having some challenges here. When you sign in, this is the screen that you see. So there's plenty of things for you to choose from in here. There's the Learning Center, there's Insights, which are There's going to be some information in there, how to shop for anything that you need. My Lion, which is for creating your service reports and your personal profiles. That will be discussed more in detail with the service reporting tomorrow. And then you want to choose My LCI. So what you're going to get is you're going to get a screen that includes this. It doesn't include everything that's on the screen, but this is the bulk of it. And this is where you're going to choose what you need to do. So for a member, for new member information, oops, I've got one missing. I apologize for that. You've got a box that goes across the top that says My Club. You click on My Club, you click on Member, and then you have the option here. You have three options. You can add a member, you can make edits to the member, or you can report that there are no changes. And then you want to, here it is. I have them mixed up. I'm sorry. So under My Lions Club, you have members. The next thing that I suggest that you do is I suggest that you, after you've made all of your updates to your membership, I suggest that you go in and make a copy of the report that you just did, because occasionally things will go hiccup and LCI will not recognize that you did your report on the reports that the cabinet secretary gets, but you will be able to say that yes, you did, and be able to provide a copy of it. So you choose reports from that list, and then you choose monthly membership report detail. And when you choose that, it'll ask you to put in the month and year that you are interested in getting. And then you can either do it as an Excel spreadsheet, or you can do a view print and save it as a PDF. And then this is what those reports look like. The one on the left is one that has a new member added. The one on the right is one that shows no activity. If you made a change to the member, updating anything that they ask for, birth date, email, whatever, it'll show up on the report like the one on the left. Is that okay so far? Okay.
So, Lion
I'm
Denise,
sorry. Yeah.
the question that was asked of you earlier about when you enter a new member and you type in their date of birth, and then it comes back saying 1/1/2020. I don't know why the computer system does that, but I know for a fact that if you put in that person's correct birth date, it comes back and do that. And I don't know if it's because it's shielding or hiding that person's birth date, and or if that's just a glitch in the system. But it happens.
Well, yeah, I know it happens, but I also know that what has happened in the past when I've gone in to do it, I go back later and edit the birth date, and the member and the birth date stays. So, but once it goes in there, it's kind of up to you as to whether or not you want to go back in and do all that. As long, I think LCI only really cares about the year, but they make you put that in there anyway. Clear as mud?
Yeah, I understand it. I mean, you may have to go back, and the answer to her question is you may have to go back and do an edit if you want it to show up on your copy. But the concern is when you put it in there right the first time, do you think LCI got it that way and then just flipped it back with the 1/1/2020?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Because and I asked the gentleman from LCI about that, and he said it is recorded, but it's one of those bugs. But as I said, I've gone back in and changed them, and they stay. So I don't know.
Okay.
It's like anything else. Sometimes it's just past my understanding.
Thank you, Denise. I think that answered her question.
I hope so. Did it? Whoever asked it?
Well, I tried going back and edit it with the correct date of birth, and it doesn't seem to stay. So I'm not
Who is
sure.
this? I'm sorry, who is speaking, please?
It's Wilma.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I have a bunch of questions I want to send to LCI on some other stuff that I've run across. So I will inquire, Wilma, and get back to you.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Okay, no problem. Okay, moving on to the next thing. We talked a little bit about the invoices from LCI for dues and supplies and things like that. And that information for your club is also found on that homepage under My Lions Club, and then you choose reports. And this is the report that you get based on which month you choose. You can get copies of your invoices from LCI going back 2 years. So this is one from our club, my club, from October of 2019. And it's just a good way for you to keep track of that kind of thing. The other thing that we need to talk about that is very important for all of us and helps us to maintain our district information also is on your homepage. You can see that under My Tasks, there's a listing that says Enter next year's officers. That's one of the most important things that we secretaries do at the conclusion of each year. As your club has its election, you go in and you enter next year's officers into the LCI system. You click on enter next year's officers, and you get a banner that says to select the term, which means it'll either ask you for this year or next year. And the officer type is basically the two types of, just like for directors and stuff, and the information that LCI wants. So you click on the select term, you select next year, brings up a list of all of the officers that they're looking for. I picked one from my club that was blank just to have it for this. You click on add officer, and you get a list of all of the members of your club. And then you just click on the person that you're picking to be that officer. The next screen comes up with the selected member, and you either cancel it or you hit save. And you've got your officers reported for the next year. When you finish doing that, you can also print that out for yourself by, print officers for next year. And you get a report that lists all of your officers for next year with their contact information. And this is the information that the district pulls down and uses for the directory, so that these are the officers that will be in the directory, and this is the information about them. So that's another reason why it's really, really important that we keep all of that information on My LCI for our members correct. The other thing that I also would recommend to all of you, a lot of us only have cell phone numbers now, and we use those numbers for our home number, we use them for our business numbers. You don't have to enter that phone number in 3 times for each of your members. You certainly can. There's no reason, I'm not saying you shouldn't, but just put one number in there if all 3 numbers are the same. It makes it a little bit easier down the road. The next thing that we're going to talk about is ordering our club supplies from LCI. So you go back into that My Lion category and you do shop. And they just recently redid the website for shopping. And so this is just a little piece of what you can see. Your whole screen will be filled up with this pretty blue with all these pictures of things. And then you can go to what specifically you're kind of looking for. So what I did was for this presentation, since we're going to be having new members this year and we need to have membership kits and pins and certificates and all those kinds of things, I chose the supplies category and chose, you see it brings up another drop box for you, and I chose the new member induction kits under kits. And you get the next screen that gives you, is this what you want? And you have to click the product type that you're looking for. And then you hit enter and it brings up the item again. And you hit enter again and it actually lets you order it. So you add how many you want and you do add to cart. And then the next screen, it's going to ask you to select an order type. And basically what that is are you ordering it for yourself or are you ordering it on your club's account? So I chose to order this on the club's account. And so that changed it to that. And then I hit checkout. And it ordered it for me. And please remember that these new member induction kits are free. So I'm not saying you should order hundreds of them, but they did change them this year so that it used to be that you ordered it and each one came with a signed certificate inside it. Now the certificates come as a separate unit so that you can continue to use the kits. You don't have to waste them moving forward. And one of the things I want to apologize for is I noticed that when I was talking about doing the officer reporting, I referred to it as a PU 101, and I did not say that that was another acronym and that I shouldn't have used, and that is your club officer reporting. So the most difficult thing that I have found of late is logging off of the website. When you are in my LCI, there is over on the right-hand side, there's a log off. And sometimes it logs you all the way off, and sometimes it takes you back to this welcome screen where you have to log off again. So I have kind of gotten into the habit of logging off, and then closing my browser and then going in. That is on my list of things that I have sent to LCI about trying to do something to make the logging off a little faster or a little easier. So that is kind of the conclusion of my part of this, and I would like to find out if you have any questions before I turn this over to Yvonne Kantola.
Denise, I typed in the chat section that PU actually stands for personnel update.
Okay, thank you. Oh, and Lion May is asking if an item is out of stock, when will restocking occur? I think that part of that problem right now is been the shutdown of business for the last couple of months, because they usually don't run out of things like that, but they don't ever tell us, or they used to tell us when they expected it to be back in stock, but I think right now they just don't know. So just be a little patient for the time being as they get up and running again.
Lion Denise?
Yes.
Lion Mario. Well, actually, that kind of brings me to another question, since you're talking about dealing with LCI and the LCI store. How easy is it to actually call LCI? Do they have people there in Chicago able to help you with your questions if you have an issue with the international?
If you asked me this question on March 1st, I would have said absolutely. Asking me that question today, I'm going to say probably not. I have found that even getting an email response is 3 to 4 days. And most of the people are still working from home. So I think that that's where we've got a problem. I know that a couple of people that I was dealing with are no longer with LCI. So that kind of hung things up. So I think they're in a state of transition right now, as are a lot of companies. And so we're just trying to be as patient as we can.
Right, right. Okay, well, thank you for answering that.
I know it's not the answer you wanted, but
Well,
normally,
no.
normally if you call them and you get voicemail, I've usually gotten a call back within that same business day.
Thank you.
Question,
Yeah,
on the My Lion app on the phones, I noticed that it's only connected to My Lion, but not the LCI .org. Is that going to change?
you mean to get my LCI?
Yeah, I know that when I go on the app, regular browsers, I can go and sign on to LCI and be able to see my lion and all the other information. But on my mobile app itself for my lion, I don't get all that I don't get my LCI.
I
Are they
don't
going to
know.
change it?
I don't know what the plans are for that, but they're constantly evolving. When I need to do something on my phone that's for my LCI, I usually go in just through to www.lionsclubs.org and try to and get into LCI that way. I'm not sure what their plans are. I can certainly put that on my list of questions and for them and get back to you.
Okay, thank you.
How are we doing on time, Lion Denise? Are you guys doing okay? I mean, we've got about 45 minutes left, so.
Yeah, we're actually, coming up okay. The next portion is Lion Yvonne's. So I don't know I don't think it's that long. So we may end up finishing a little bit early.
We will. I think we will.
Oh, that's Yvonne. We will. So Lion Mario, we're gonna let Yvonne talk. I think I have the screen though, right, Yvonne?
Yes, you do.
Okay, then Yvonne, take it away.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I want to congratulate everybody that's coming in as a club secretary. And I know many of you have had the position before. And I've always said that this is the best position to hold in a club because this is where you learn the most. And with it, you bring your knowledge with you when you become club president. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the 100% Secretary Award. Next slide. All right. So to qualify for the 100% Secretary Award, you must have attended the District Club Secretary Training. So you're here today. So all you need to do is put in today's date. Next part is to submit the monthly membership reports, the MMRs, to LCI within each reporting month. Now this has already been covered nicely by Lion Denise. So I just want to repeat again to please make sure that you submit your report by the 25th of each month. Otherwise, your zone chair might be contacting you. For those of you who currently have access to my LCI know that it was down at the end of May, which caused a lot of problems for everybody. So if you report early, hopefully you would avoid any problems. Attended at least 2 zone meetings. Your zone chairs will be setting up meetings with their respective clubs, and you only need to attend 2 meetings. However, if there are only 1 meeting, then you just put that date down and that's it. But it's a great way to exchange information with other clubs and to get to know your fellow Lions. Attended at least 2 of the 4 District 4C4 cabinet meetings. We made a change on this, or we're making a change on this year, and now we're asking that you attend at least 2 of the cabinet meetings. Again, it's a great way to exchange information with other clubs and meet up with your fellow Lions. and to find out what's going on in the district. And one of the meetings that you attend, you might consider making it the district convention, because that's a weekend of fun. All club financial obligations are current as of April 30th, 2021, and that includes LCI and the MD4 dues. As Lion Denise already showed you earlier, you can check at My Lion to see if your club owes anything. And if you owe anything to MD4 and you haven't paid it, towards the end of April, you probably will hear from me. Submit your 2021-22 club officers update, the PU 101, to My Lion by May 15th, 2021. The date always remains the same every year, so clubs just need to have their elections prior to that year, or to that date. And the very last thing is to get your club president to sign off on the form and email it to the cabinet secretary by June 30th, 2021. And if for some reason you want to send it out by mail, it has to be postmarked by June the 30th. And that's pretty much it. I think you will probably get a copy of the 100% Secretary and the Club Excellence Award sometime during the year. So when you get it, just make sure you keep track of what needs to be done so that you don't have to be surprised towards the end of the year when you want to put in your application. And that's it for my report. Thank you.
So, Yvonne, there's a question for you in the chat area.
Oh, okay.
And it has to do with the zone chair holding their zone meetings and the lack of a meeting not being held. So I guess they want to know, and the question was, are there going to be plans to make sure that more zone meetings are going to be held? And the most important thing is, if a meeting is not held, that will not be held against you or stop you from getting your 100% Secretary's Award. You need to know that as well.
That is correct. I believe with the zone and region training that will be coming eventually, that this will definitely be emphasized. Yes, if there should not be any zone or region meetings held, just put it down on a form. It will not be held against the Secretary. Does that answer?
Okay.
That is good to know, Lion Yvonne, because I did not have any zone meeting with our zone chair because he was sick for one thing, and then all these things about COVID-19.
Yeah.
Right.
No.
I think it will be emphasized, as I said, and there's no reason why they can't do a Zoom meeting now that we're all starting to get into it.
Yeah. Well, we haven't had one yet in my zone either this year, but I know that she has a couple of weeks, so we may have one.
Mm-hmm.
She's grinning. It's okay. She's grinning. Okay. Constance, is that Connie Bridgewater?
Yes.
She wants to know what happens when there's a problem and you cannot get the MMR posted. Said I had big problems last year. That's why Lion Yvonne is recommending that you do it earlier in the month, so that if there is an issue, you can see what you can do to get it resolved. And if you can't, you can always contact IT and they will help you.
The other thing too is you can still do a paper form.
Yeah, but you have to mail the paper form by the 20th of the month.
Right, that's true.
What happened when you miss one day?
Then you don't get the 100% Secretary.
You blew it.
But then, and then it was said that nobody actually sent theirs, that I was the only one.
No.
Well,
Can I make a point?
Mario.
Yes. I mean, once you've had your board meeting, if you're doing your club reporting, your MMR reporting, you don't have to wait until the end of the month. You can turn it in any time during the month.
Yeah.
Correct?
You can always go back and make changes if you need to make changes. So it's important. Just go right that first week in the month, do it. If
Just do
something
it.
comes up and you have to add somebody or change something, you still got the whole month to do it.
I do that sometimes. I'll go in at the first week of the month and say no changes. And that way, if down the road in the month, if I need to make a change, you can. But that way that you get everything reported the way you need to. And you're going to know by your board meeting if you're getting a new member. So, you know, it's easy enough to do it, but I do highly recommend that you do it. And also, please remember,
Are you getting
if
it?
you are occasionally like me and you're doing it on the last day of the month at the very, very end because you forgot,
Mhm.
please remember there's a time difference. Chicago is 2 hours ahead of us. So if you are doing it at 11 o'clock at night, you're too late because Chicago records at Chicago time. Mario's got his hand up.
I do have my hand up. As you know, I would just moderated the presidents and vice presidents meeting, and I was talking to them about the role of the secretary and explaining to them that a president has to rely on their secretary to help
Mhm.
run the meeting, to help run the meeting. Sometimes when a president is talking, you know, and you're thinking and speaking, trying to remember what you're going to say, what's coming up next, the secretary is vital in helping to keep the meeting on track, whispering into the president's ear saying, you need to do this, you need to do that. Can you speak to that a little bit?
So whispering as opposed to gently kicking under the table is more effective.
There we go. You can do that too.
That's exactly why the secretary sits to the right of the president so that they can help them stay on focus with their agenda and covering items that need to be covered. And the secretary also assists the president in forming their agenda for the meetings, because you need to look at the minutes and see if there's some items that was left over that need to be carried over to the next meeting that needs to be discussed, any action items. So secretaries, you're key to the organization.
Mhm.
Well, as I said, we're the glue that holds it together. Floor?
Yeah, I just
Sorry,
would
they're kind of breaking up a little bit.
okay. I just would like to also say that the zone chairs and the region chairs are also helpers in informing or reminding the secretaries of their MMR reports. And that's a good idea to remind them. I did it this whole year. You know, I reminded my zone chairs as well as I have written directly or made phone calls to Wilma and Norona every month. So I think what I'm trying to say here is we're saying that we have to help each other. And so the zone chair and the region chair also have to help out. Don't you think so?
Yes.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
I think as secretaries, we need to rely on all of our district leaders and you know, our region, our zone. If you've got a question, we mentioned earlier about not LCI lets you know every month, you know, if you have money due. MD4 sends out the invoices twice a year, and then it's up to the districts to contact. So the treasurer and the district governor get a report every month from MD4, which they normally would share with the cabinet secretary, who in turn would let the region and zone people know, you need to let your clubs know that these monies are due. And so I think that the more that we depend on our officers and get to know them and learn what can be done and easier ways to do it, the better off we are. I know one of the things that I liked about the region and zone meetings that District Governor-elect Fanny had when she was region chair, she made them extremely informative. There was always something there for us to learn about. So any opportunity to learn something, to learn especially an easier way to do stuff is always very vital. I see on here that second or first VDG elect Dr. June said a meeting with the region and zone, one-on-one phone meetings. I don't think that quite constitutes a region or a zone meeting though, Dr. June.
Well,
But-
I think what you're saying is that part of the point of having a region and zone meeting is for the clubs to share with each other and to interact as well. I mean, I don't know what the rules are specifically regarding having one-on-one meetings, but I do believe that one, it's easier just to meet as a group, and two, it's important for the clubs to share with each other.
Right. Well, I also know that I hear from my club hears from our zone chair on at least a monthly basis, if not more often. So I think that, you know, that kind of communication has been real good. She checks in to see how things are going and if we need anything. And I think that's important.
Yeah.
One more.
Oh, Mariah
one
has
more-
her hand up.
I was gonna say, Denise, thank you for that, but I'll admit I was the zone chair. I did check in with my clubs and their secretaries more than trying to put together a meeting. It's been a hard year, but I think it's also important for all of us secretaries to know that we can reach out too, and don't think that if you're not hearing from them that you can't call if you have a question too.
Mhm.
And the other thing I was going to add for you secretaries is that it doesn't hurt to have a backup for you for reporting your monthly membership reports.
Yeah.
Because let's say you're out of the country or somewhere and you don't have access to a computer, or you don't have, because right now, anywhere you are, you pretty much can get online and do your reports. But in situations where you can't, it's always good to have a backup, somebody that you trust that you can give your password to. So if for whatever reason you can't do it, you can shoot them an email or call them and say, hey, can you report this? Just report nothing new or whatever. Because I know when I was cabinet secretary, I had a couple of clubs that had issues a few times, and they would call me and give me their email because they couldn't do it. And I mean their password, and I reported that for them. But you cannot make that a habit and think the cabinet secretary is going to report your monthly membership reports for you.
Well,
But
the cabinet secretary no longer has access to do that. They took that away.
They have to give them their password, Denise, to do it.
No, but the thing is, though, is you need to remember that your club president can also make those changes on LCI. So that is one backup, and there's also a club administrator that your club can appoint. I know that Lion Yvonne has been the club administrator for San Francisco Chinatown for a year or so. Yeah.
Yes, and as club administrator, when our club secretary has been out of town, I just took over whatever needed to be done. And if that included having to report to MMR, I'm able to do it.
Yeah.
So I think each club, yes, I think each club as a backup should have a club administrator just in case of emergencies like this.
Right, and it's also good, quote unquote, business practice to make sure that someone else knows how to do what you are doing in the event that you can't do it. I mean, I laugh, I tell the story several years ago. I was planning to do my MMR there again the last day of the month, and I ended up having emergency surgery and calling someone else trying to get them to help me out, and nobody could. So I learned at that very moment that you really need to have backup on that. So
the question is, just to clarify, so the backup can be able to will be able to log on to the website, LCI website?
Yes.
yeah, if you assign a district administrator, you will get, they will have access to my LCI to make the same sort of changes that your secretary and president can make.
Okay.
And the other thing that you can do too, and I know that there are clubs that get a little proprietary, but you can put someone on while you're on vacation and then take them off when you get back.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
I got something to say too. Denise?
Yeah.
Hi,
please.
Denise. Okay. When worst comes to worst, I'll share you. It's funny, but as a secretary, you can always ask help. At one point, I was in Egypt and I forgot all about my reports. So I called up the governor at that time, which was Jocelyn Mina, and I begged her to do the report for me. And she did it.
Well,
But that's only, yeah, she did it once, but I had to buy her dinner. So she will do it for me.
bribery is always a good thing. No,
Yeah.
it used to be that cabinet secretaries and district governors could make changes to the clubs, but I guess there was some funny business going on, so they took that away so that there was better control on the information. So, okay, so any other questions or things that we should cover for you?
Okay, well, thank you so much for a great presentation. I think hopefully we answered a lot of questions, and I can leave the room open for those who want to stay and chat for a little bit or who want to ask some questions. But right now I'm going to answer a question from Lion Calvin Yee of the Silicon Valley Cyber Alliance Club, who asks, can you send me the link for treasurer training? Want to understand better of position. So what I'm going to say now is that if you enjoyed the earlier presentation on presidents, this presentation on secretaries, you have interest in either the 2 o'clock treasurers training, or tomorrow morning we're having membership at 9 a.m. The service chair presentation at 10:30, which will cover both project planning and reporting. Or at 12 noon tomorrow, we're going to be having public relations, communications, and social media, because it's important not only to communicate with our members, it's also important to communicate with the community at large. That is going to be at 12 noon tomorrow. The links for all these sessions, all these presentations, is going to be available on the District 4C4 Facebook page. Admittedly, not perfect. I have to find a way to perhaps get it to the cabinet secretary to post the links somewhere where, if you're not a Facebook member, but if you do have Facebook, the links will be there, and I will send that information also to the cabinet secretary to see if she can send out a little something so that everyone can join in. Because even as we were speaking here, I was communicating with people who wanted to get in. So anyway, that is my answer to you, Lion Calvin. Go to the Facebook page for District 4C4.
The other question that came up too is from Lion Alicia. She asked if the club can have an assistant secretary, and your assistant secretary would be your club administrator. Yes.
Isn't there also a position? Well, it's the service chair. Isn't the service chair meant to be a assistant to the club secretary?
No, the service chair is meant to do the reporting through my Lion of all the service reporting. The secretary is the backup to the service chair.
Right. Well,
in my club,
historically, the service reporting was done by the secretary. Now that there's a dedicated service secretary or service chair who does the reporting now.
well,
Right.
it just happens in my club. The service secretary, the service chair is the same as the secretary. So there's only one person.
Depends on the club, of course.
But it is considered two separate positions now by LCI. So
Correct. Correct. Just like you can have a secretary treasurer, you can have one person. It depends on your club. If you've got the people to fill those slots, that's fantastic. You can run it the way that it's meant to be run. Otherwise, you've got to adapt and overcome.
okay. Well, Lion Mario, thank you very much for putting this on. I don't know if our governor or if your counterpart, Lion Kevin, are still with us. And Lion Allison's name was listed on the flyer too. Thank you very much for this opportunity. And please, if you have any questions or need any help, please give me a call or an email, and I am happy to help you in any way that I can.
It is a little bit after 1 o'clock at this point. I do want to thank Lion Denise, Lion Yvonne, and Pastor Governor Lydia for a wonderful presentation. I think they answered a lot of questions here. Hopefully that will get you started on your way to being an excellent, efficient club secretary for your Lions Club. And it is, you know, just because this training session is over. And by the way, all the training sessions will be available on the district website. So if later on you decide you want to come back and review this or any of the other sessions, they will be available on the district website.
Does that include what was on the screen, or is that only
Yes.
the recorded voice?
Yes, no. Everything that was on the screen. I do not believe that chat is covered on that, unfortunately, because when we did the Guiding Lion training, that was not included. But certainly you'll be able to get most of the gist of the topics. And again, it's something we wanted to make this available, but also to give a chance to the people who are not able to be here at the to attend the live event. And so, you know, by all means, go and see the recording.
So
Thank
I
you.
am here, Denise. Thank all three of you guys for a great presentation. We are extremely grateful to have such experienced Lions to be able to support us with all these training sessions. So well done. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you,
Okay,
Kevin.
so it is a little bit after 1 o'clock, 1:08. I'm going to stop the recording now, and we'll leave the room open for a little while more if you guys just want to chat and interact. But I'm going to have to close this room at about 1:30. So you got 20 minutes if you want to stay and chat. Otherwise, thank you for attending, and have a great year as secretary.
Hey,
Thank-
Mario,